Alright, what is going on, my dudes? We are back here today with the newest champion entering MCOC, and that one's going to be Spot, this guy right here. So, right off the bat, man, this guy's animations are freaking next level, dude. His animations, his character model are just so incredibly cool. So I want to take a second to point that out. First and foremost, man, like seriously, his animations might be my favorite in the game. They're just so cool, man. The way that the spots get larger and smaller like that across his entire body. The more spots he gains in fight, the more he gets on his body, like his character model as well. Just so much attention to detail, man. So really cool when a character model is this cool. But is this guy useful? What can he do? How do you use him? That's what we're gonna go over today in this video. So, breaking the curve a little bit, I feel like it's been a minute since I've been able to open up a champion's abilities and say, hey, this guy doesn't look too complicated, right? And he's so simple. He has spots. Spot has spots. I wonder how long it took the designer to come up with that concept. But yeah, Spot has spots, maximum of 10. When you reach 5 spots, you can activate Untouchable. Now, how do you gain those spots? Now, you gain spots, you have a 20% chance when hit, but in all honesty, that's a defensive ability. That's when spots on defense. Don't get hit. You don't want to get hit. You want to try to not get hit. Rule number 1, using any champion, unless you're using like Thing but whatever. So yeah, when you get hit, 20% chance to gain a spot. Or when you block a basic attack or a special attack on his portal block, okay, we're going to go over that in a bit though, you have a chance to gain a spot, or you have a 100% chance to gain a spot. Now, when you have 5 spots and you have a basic hit through at the face, right? Someone's going to hit you. Light attack, medium attack, heavy attack. You go untouchable. Now, when you're untouchable, you can't get any more spots. You become stun immune, okay? And everything misses unless they have a miss counter, unless they have True Sense or they have a, something like that, right? What's the other one? Tracking debuff, whatever it is, right? But yeah, basically you can just go balls to the wall, aggressive. Special attacks are gonna miss. All of this is gonna miss. It's a very powerful passive here, okay? Now, when an incoming attack miss, you inflict a Rupture debuff on the opponent, dealing physical damage over 0.5 seconds. Now, when you land a hit while untouchable, you pause untouchable for 0.3 seconds and you inflict a non-stacking Infuriate debuff. That's what Hercules have. It's going to make them more aggressive. So you can literally, what I like to do in all seriousness, when I go untouchable, I literally tap the screen. I tap the light attack over and over and over and over and over and over. Even if they're throwing special attacks, I am tapping the light attack over and over and over. Okay? Now, incoming attacks from the opponent and attacks that make contact will inflict a Rupture debuff. So this guy's all about stacking those ruptures. They don't last for too long, but what that does is he has a bit of a rupture bank. Okay, that's a term that actually I came up for it, and I kind of was rolling with it. But the rupture bank, that has to do with the special 2. We're going to skip to the special 2 really quick here. Each hit deals a burst of 409 physical damage for each rupture effect inflicted on the opponent since the start of the fight or his last special 2. Okay, that's the rupture bank right there, max of 50. So you want to stack as many ruptures as possible. Now, portal block. This thing is really cool, okay? When you hold your block, you become like rooted in place, which is really nice for like keeping ground and spacing on the opponent first and foremost, but also you gain plus 8,600 block proficiency per spot. That is a lot, man. Like the Guardian synergy, I believe adds 1,500, maybe 1,250, and that's like a lot. That is a lot of block proficiency, dude. Pretty crazy. So yeah, you open up the thing in front of you, right? And then you get that. Now, one big con to this, a really big con that I've always thought was just something that could potentially hold him back in the future, depending on attack values. The first hit that you take, you do not have that block proficiency bonus, right? And when you get to 10, that is also taken away. So you're still going to be taking some block damage in the beginning there, right? And possibly at the end. So that's definitely something that could hold him back depending on the content in front of you. But regardless, right? So big block efficiency once you're building up your spots, and keep in mind you need 5 to enter untouchable, all right? Now, you're locked in place, which can give you some nice spacing on the opponent, right? And What's really, really great about it, plus 20% chance per spot to resist heavy attacks and block unblockable attacks. That is absolutely incredibly useful in a variety of scenarios. So if you have 5 spots, right, you have a guaranteed chance to block all unblockable attacks and block all heavy attacks, right, or resist all heavy attacks, basically. Now, there is a synergy that increases that to 30%. That is the Mephisto and Magic synergy, so that could be 4 spots, but still, 4 or 5, and you build those up very, very quickly, okay? Yeah, man, so that's pretty much his mechanics. Now let's just quickly talk about his special attacks. I think that it's pretty straightforward, right? Hold block, gain spots, activate untouchable, do special 2. Quick and easy. Now, the special attacks, you gain 1 spot per bar power spent. Special 1, you gain 1. Special 2, you gain 2. Special 3, you gain 3, but you'll shoot up to max anyway, right? Now, if you activate a special attack while you have 10 spots, you're going to go untouchable, okay? The special attack 1. This one's actually kind of nice for niche uses. On activation, you inflict a buff immunity debuff on own or on spot for 10 seconds. And if you do this at 10 spots, it's going to be for 20 seconds. Now, what is great about this, if you're in a bit of a longer fight and you want to build up to 50 in that rupture bank, you can easily get some really nice willpower healing, especially if you run Liquid Courage and Double Edge, right? On this guy, you're going to be taking some nice poison damage, but you're going to be able to offset a lot of that with the non-damaging debuff. That is the 5th buff immunity debuff on yourself. Also going to be really great for buffet, power snack, stuff like that, because you're going to completely bypass all of those nodes, plus dealing with mystics as well, right? Science champion here, when you have that buff immunity debuff up for 20 seconds, and you could very easily build up spots and put another one on, or just chain special ones, in the fight going along, to fight like, Mojo and other buff countering champions. Now, while that buff immunity is active though, each time you're immune to a buff, you inflict another rupture debuff on the opponent. So lots of ruptures with this guy. The special 2 we already kind of went over, right? But additionally, if he is untouchable, you inflict a physical vulnerability debuff, lowering physical resistance by a lot for 10 seconds. And if you do that at 10 spots, it'll last for 20 seconds. So I'm going to tell you right now, 90% of the time when I'm playing this guy, I don't do the 10 spots. 10 seconds, 20 seconds, I don't really care. That physical vulnerability, I want it there during the duration of the special 2. I'm not going to go out of my way to build 5 additional spots when I'm just going to start building spots again after the special 2, you know what I mean? So it's going to be just kind of be there, giving them willpower. I don't need it. Now, the special 3, I never use this thing. This is kind of like a, oh crap, I shot up to special 3. I wanted to use a special 2. That's all right. It's going to be a little bit longer. You gain max spots, right? And once per fight, if spotted at 10 spots, you increase the duration of all personal rupture effects by 100% for the rest of the fight. This is great for longer fights. I personally don't love him in longer fights. I like him in short and medium length fights, right? He can go through the medium length fights really, really well without having to increase the duration of the ruptures, right? I would rather go for an additional special 2 than go for the special 3 while building up, you know what I mean? Now, he also has a pre-fight that is quite okay. One thing that's really holding it back, and I'll talk about that in a second. Basically, you start with 1 persistent charge, and when you defeat an opponent with him, you gain another one. Now, you can spend 1 of these to activate foul play, and what that does is during the next fight, when the opponent is knocked down by a science champion on your team who is not spot, they're inflicted with a buff immune debuff lasting for 3 seconds. Now, good for willpower healing, right, on science champions, but 3 seconds is very, very short when you're trying to counter mystic champions and nodes like buffet and power snack. It's definitely decent. It opens up the door to additional options there if you need that in your roster, but 3 seconds is very, very short. I could see this getting buffed a little bit in 6 months, maybe bringing up to 5 seconds, 6 seconds is more than enough. I understand if they don't want a non-damaging debuff on you the entire time for constant willpower healing. It makes sense why it would be short, but it's just so short that it might be a little bit impractical in most places, okay? So yeah, one more thing about this guy is his SIG ability here. Now, after a portal block ends, each hit of his next successful light, heavy, or special attack deals an instant rupture, dealing a lot of physical damage for each spot gained during that portal block, okay? Now, also, while untouchable, attacks that strike the opponent while they're performing a heavy attack or recovering from a special grant him a Fury passive, increasing attack rating by quite a bit for 7 seconds, okay? Now, these two work really well together if you do it properly, and I will show it to you in action so you understand. It'll be a little bit easier to see it. Now, let's jump into some gameplay now. We've been talking for quite a bit, okay? We're gonna, first things first, we're gonna go for our Deadpool here, rank 3 spot in this entire video. Let's say you want to use this guy in Battlegrounds, right? Or like Alliance War, that type of health pool, a shorter health pool. Let's see, right, what it's gonna look like, how effective it's going to be, okay? Nice, we resisted both heavy attack hits, and then I decked out of that one. Why? I don't know, man. I wasn't feeling risky anymore. So there we go. There we go. I baited out the heavy attack, and then I got the Fury passive. There we freaking go. You love to see it, right? Got the Fury passive once more. Gonna bait out a special attack from this guy, literally tapping the screen. Special 2 off, while and untouchable. Physical vulnerability we had to spare on, and a lot of nice instant rupture damage from this dude. Not too bad. Pretty good special 2 there, right? So that's really not too bad. It's basically like, you know, build up your spots, go untouchable, be really, really aggressive. Now, one thing that happened here with Deadpool, as you can see, his special 1, the first time he used this special 1, the spacing was a little bit weird here, right? I missed a couple of hits, and what that caused me to do, watch my untouchable passive, right? That's going to let it tick down. Oh man, I really missed out on a lot of that pausing. So depending on the defender's animations, right, the untouchable is going to be better or worse. For Deadpool, for some reason, the special 1, it kind of like causes the 2 champions to like fly apart, kind of like you're taking 2 magnets on opposite ends and they go flying apart. So Spot, not the best animation wise against Deadpool. But let's say we want to go for Winter Soldier. Now, I'm going to show you here on this Winter Soldier fight, we're going to be running, you know, Liquid Courage and Double Edge here. So we're going to put on those masteries. And we're also going to be taking full advantage of the SIG ability here. So after a portal block ends, each hit of Spot's next successful light, heavier special attack deals an instant rupture, dealing a lot of physical damage for each spot gained during that portal block, okay? So obviously, we're going to use Winter Soldier's special 2 here, all right? So 550,000 health on Winter Soldier, right? That's a lot. So we're going to do kind of like the same thing, except we want our Rupture Bank up to 50 in this one. We want Rupture Bank at 50. We want the passive Fury, and we want a big, you know, portal block build up after the special 2. So we're going to build up the same way, literally tapping the light attack here through the special 1. I don't care. Boom, just going away. The Infuriate really makes them just like, you know, use their special attacks, which is great. Here, watch this. Doesn't matter. Threw it through the block. Did not matter at all. The special 1 put more ruptures on him through his block, which is just great. So super safe to do that. Actually pretty cool that I was able to, you know, have that happen there. Pretty kind of cool there. So we baited that at heavy attack, right? You get used to that timing after a while. Got the passive Fury. Nice. As you can see really quickly here, right? 30 hits in. We went for the special 1, right? So, you know, because of the bleed in the beginning, we lost 5% health, right? Then we took 5% health from recoil on the special 1, but you kind of get that special 1 damage back, which is really, really nice because it looks like we never used the special 1 there, right? Because of the recoil. So that's really nice. And as you can see, we've taken off about 125,000 health just in Rupture so far. At this point, our Rupture Bank is at 50. When I want to build to 50, I usually prefer, unless I'm going to be taking a lot of hits through Untouchable, prefer to go for a special 1 so I can get there without stressing too much about like getting pushed to a special 3, you know? But at this point, I want to set up something crazy, okay? And we're going to do so. We're going to push him up to a special 2, right? Here we go. What am I doing? Push him up to a special 2. And now the absolute joy of why I don't test on Winter Soldier any longer, more often than not, this. We just wait and we 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 wait. And finally, we wait some more and we're going to be gaining here 7 spots. So remember the SIG ability here. The 2 parts, when you punish a heavy attack, or when you use a light attack, a heavy attack, or a special attack, right? After you have the ruptures built up, the other passive ruptures, we have the gray ones right there, based on the amount of spots that we gained. We gained 7 from that special 2. Now we're going to bait out a heavy attack, and we're going to punish it with a special 2, okay? I would punish it with a medium attack because that wouldn't trigger the rupture, right? But basically, I might go to a special 3. So let's watch this big damage here. Winter Soldier is at 67% health, and let's watch it, then we'll break it down. All right, if you blinked, you may have missed it. So let's go back, and let's watch this here, okay? So here comes the special 2. I'm going to look at the burst. This is like big potential here of what this guy could do. Keep in mind class advantage, disadvantage as well, right? So we're going to look at all this burst damage here. So right away, I missed the pause. I missed the pause because I'm very good at this. Okay, punish the heavy attack. Bam! 4,000, 4,000, two of those, so 8,000 plus 63,000 plus a nice 9,000 there. Let's go ahead and round that up to 80,000 on the first hit. Second hit, 91k burst, 14k crit on the special 2 there, 105k on the second hit. Round that up to 98,000, 97,000 on the third hit. And another 105k, so round it up to about, let's just round it to 400,000 damage on that special 2 alone. Quite a lot. 43 hits taking down Winter Soldier. It took about 85 seconds, and I would say 20 of those seconds were spent trying to get him to use a special 2. So when it comes to damage, he's got it. You know, he's definitely got it. Yeah, he's definitely got the damage there, man. Especially if you do run those masteries, the damage is just really jacked up, man, because he's got the Furies, he's got all of the damage over time, he's got the big burst damage combined with the physical vulnerability. It's going to really ramp his damage up. Plus, he's got the willpower healing as well. So personally, I do like him using those masteries, but I also like him without it, you know? So he's definitely can be usable with and without. But the big damage there, you know, definitely amplified a bit. Probably would not have died from the special 2 if he wasn't running them. But let's go a little bit different here. This is one of my favorite nodes for him, Polka Dot Power. Now, the attacker gains no power from landing or receiving attacks. Instead, they are granted 12% of a power bar per a second while the defender is suffering from a damaging debuff. Now, why I love this, A, because he has consistent damaging debuffs on the defender the entire time. That way you're going to be consistently gaining power is going to be a really good option for the node. But what I love about this is how he's not able to gain power, dude. So I don't have to worry about getting pushed to special 3. I don't have to worry about maybe not having too many ruptures in my rupture bank. No, I'm getting 50 every time, right? And this is a freaking Mordo, 400,000 health in Act 7, okay? So here we go. We are not running those masteries over here, okay? And we're going to build up the same way. Here we go, spot fresh out of the box. Of course, you know, SIG 200 here, rank 3. And yeah, of course, Mordo's going to start out being a little passive. It's going to be a little pain in the butt, which is great, you know? But we're going to bait out a special attack from this guy, and now we're going to trigger the untouchable. And now I'm literally tapping the screen, until untouchable goes away. Halfway done, I'm tapping, getting the ruptures, I'm tapping. That's all I'm doing. I'm tapping light. I'm not going for medium attacks, I'm going for light attacks. And here we go. 31 ruptures in the bank, all right? And we're just gaining power naturally. It's great. One more of those for sure. For sure, we're going to get to 50. For sure. And we're going to be at 2 bars power. So, of course, with Mordo, he's gaining his power bar, his bar of power. I'm not too concerned with it, right? Cool. Like, just use your special, though, man. Use your special. There we go. Now I'm going to trigger untouchable. There we go. All right, we got to build up a couple more. Come on, give me a special attack. Give me the Fury. There we go. There is the Fury, and we got our 50. Here comes the special 2. Big damage. Yeah, solid damage, man. Just solid damage all around. Yeah. You know, as you can see, that first part of the SIG ability definitely is nice. You know, it really increases the burst damage. So that Winter Soldier special 2, it definitely made a difference here. But I mean, like, here's the thing. It's nice to have all that damage, right? But this here was 400,000 damage still in about 60 seconds or so against this Mordo. So yeah, I mean, like, I'm when I play this guy, I don't personally go for the big lineup that I did against Winter Soldier. Of course, I'm going to show you, like, you know, his potential, you know, max potential. For me, this Mordo and the Deadpool are more like realistic potentials. Like, I mean, like, listen, dude, if it works, if you can make it work, you make it work, you do it, you know? But he doesn't need to you know, to bait out the 7-hit special attack and then bait the heavy into the Fury and then go for the special 2 with the 50 rupture bank every single time. You know what I mean? What, worst case scenario? You have to do one more special 2. It's just less stressful that way, and it's more fun. And he's such a fun champion that I prefer to go for that usually, you know. But everyone's gonna have a different opinion on that. Some people are gonna want to maximize him every single time. I think it's a little unrealistic to do that every time, but when it works, it works. Now we'll go over a few little utility things real quick over here, and pretty much kind of the same thing in one. We're gonna go with the unblockable counter and the heavy attack counter. I'm just gonna show you my two favorite examples of them. Okay, so here we have our buddy Dr. Doom. We're going to skip to the fun part here, okay? So we got 9 of our spots here, baiting out a special 1 from Doom. So check this out. Here we go. Block. Block the unblockable, right? Love to see it. Here, we're going to push this guy up to a special 2. And we block the part that people get hit by. You know, like, especially if you're fighting a Doom with Mystic Dispersion, where they'll actually get to that special 2 a lot easier while unblockable. Or if it's just like a Doom with unblockable specials, you know, Node 54 in Alliance War, right? Other places as well where they'll have unblockable special attacks, just flat out unblockable special node, you know. On top of that, we also have the heavy counter, and what a fun one to do, but Super Scroll here. Now, basically, right, like at 5+ spots, we're going to have a 100% chance to block and resist every single part of this heavy attack. So here, I want to build up to 5, right? And I want to make sure I can do the whole thing. So I got full dex it here. But here, look, check it out. Bam! Resist the entire thing. You know? That's pretty cool, man. You know, and of course, that's going to be more useful in different scenarios. If it was like an unblockable special attack too, you could block the unblockable, resist the unblockable, resist the heavy. So that's really cool. You know, a couple other utility we didn't like go over deeply in here is, you know, you got the, but I think it's just kind of self-explanatory, you know? You got the buff immunity debuff on the special 1. I mean, you know, you use your special 1, you get the buff immunity. You don't gotta see that. You're all really smart. You could do it. You know, there's Diss Track and the other nodes where you want to put the debuffs on. You know, these can definitely do a bunch of different things. His synergies are okay. Good synergy for Kingpin, actually, especially if he's undupe. You start with 1 additional rage debuff. Not the best for Mr. Negative. Start the fight with 2 spots. Actually is good because it allows you to skip that first hit where you're going to take the block efficiency, you know, reduction there. But if this was after Untouchable ends, you gain 2 spots as well, that would be like really good. But here it's like, okay, it's like, it'll be fine, you know. Good for like, you know, war if you're going to be bringing Kingpin in general. I mean, you know, great war champ there. Over here, you get a Fury buff if you block basic attacks with the portal block. Cool. You know, I don't think he needs more attack. I think his attack is fine, but nice to have. America Chavez is actually a pretty good synergy for America Chavez. Makes your special 2 hit pretty hard. You lower energy resistance by 50% for each unique parallel dimension. That's actually quite a bit. So 45% if you go for a special 2 with the prowess, can make her hit very hard. Plus they have buffs even more so. Wong makes him ramp up a lot faster. Over here with Spot, when Untouchable starts, you inflict a taunt. This to me is useless because the Infuriate pretty much works as a taunt, and this is only a 40% taunt. So this is, I mean, like, listen, if you're going to be using him for like all or nothing, cool, but there are going to be better options than that in my opinion. So I don't know, man, but maybe that actually be good because you can just kind of build up your spots without worrying about anything. There's better options. There are better options. Spider-Man, you gain 100% chance to evade. You're probably going to do that anyway. And Black Cat, you get an additional critical rating. Cool. Mysterio, you gain 1 chemical gas when a hit misses him. Cool. Cool down 10 seconds. A little useless for me there. Spot, you gain 10% rupture debuff potency. I haven't messed with this too much, but honestly, that probably is quite a bit. That's probably okay, especially if you're really stacking those, but still don't think he needs it. Over here, this is probably his most useful one for certain situations. Portal block gains a flat 10% to resist unblockable and heavy, so you only need 4 instead of 5, and 3 is going to give you a 90% chance, so that's definitely nice. For Magic, while the opponent has 0 power, again, a Fury buff, increasing attack rating by 15%. That could be okay for her for sure. You know, and Mephisto, this is actually quite nice. Landing basic attacks, pause the duration of the Aura of Incineration for 0.2 seconds. A little short, but still better than nothing. Keeps his damage up, you know, and his power gain up. But, you know, he often has that up regardless, especially if you go for the special 3. So yeah, man, that's Spot. Everything you need to know about him, what he can do, what he's useful for, the best ways to use him, practical and impractical. You know, different masters mastery setups, different areas of the game, and yeah, it's pretty much everything you should have to know about this guy and what he's going to be doing in the game, and if he's maybe could be useful for you if you happen to pull him. But yeah, man, as always, I don't recommend you open cat crystals for this guy. Just play the long game, save up 6-star shards. I do recommend people to do for his featured crystal if you like him. Personally, what I'm doing. But I mean, I'm going to be opening the next featured crystal first, but then after day 1 of opening a big opening, I'm going to be saving up at least 30 or more crystals. I'd love to pull him, Spidey Supreme, and Infamous Iron Man, most of all. So far, 3 out of the 6 I'd love to get. So yeah, it's a good year for champions in MCOC, man. There really haven't been too many like bad champs, which is nice, you know. There are a few I don't like, but that's a different conversation for a different day. That's it for this video, man. If you enjoyed it, drop your boy a big ol' like. Let me know what you think about Spot in the comment section below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future gameplays of champions and other stuff as well coming to you in the future. I'll be seeing you around, man.